Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever watched a child playing with their favorite toy, completely absorbed? The world could be falling apart around them and they would not even notice. That is focus, pure, unshaken, innocent. But as we grow older, the noise gets louder. Notifications, opinions, expectations, all screaming for our attention. And slowly that beautiful stillness inside us begins to scatter like dust in the wind. Your focus is the direction your life takes. Protect it like your future depends on it, because it really truly does. Everything you will ever build, achieve, or overcome begins with your ability to hold your attention on what matters. It sounds simple, maybe even obvious, but in today's world that is a superpower. Focus is not just a mindset, it is a lifestyle. It is the way you show up for your dreams when no one is watching. It is choosing progress over perfection. It is saying, this is my path and I will not let anything pull me away from it. Not people, not fear, not comfort, not even my own doubts. We do not protect our focus because we are arrogant. We protect it because it is limited. You only have so much attention in a day. If you spend it scrolling, comparing, reacting, and worrying, what is left for building, creating, and becoming? People often say, I do not have time. But more often, it is not a lack of time. It is a lack of focus. We wake up with 24 golden hours, but by the end of the day, we wonder where they went. The truth is, they were stolen. Not by thieves, but by tiny distractions. A message here, a complaint there, a video, a call, an argument, a worry. And just like that, our attention is fragmented. You cannot build anything great with broken attention. It is like trying to pour water into 10 cups at once. None of them ever gets full. But if you focus on just one, the result is different. Something fills, something overflows, something grows. We live in a time where distractions are engineered. Your phone buzzes not because it misses you, but because someone designed it to. Every app wants your attention. Every person wants a piece of your energy. And if you do not guard it, if you do not become a warrior for your own clarity, it will slip through your fingers, day after day. Protecting your focus means choosing your priorities every single day. It means asking yourself, what matters right now? What deserves my attention? And what does not? It means creating a space where your mind can breathe. Turning off notifications, keeping your phone out of reach when you work. Giving yourself the gift of silence, and not apologizing for it. It also means being mindful of who you let into your mental space. Some people are walking distractions. They drain your energy, your motivation, your clarity. And they do it with a smile. Learn to walk away, not with anger but with wisdom. When you protect your focus, something magical happens. You begin to feel powerful again. You start finishing what you start. You get better at things. You move with purpose. You feel less scattered, more alive. You do not have to do it all at once. Start small. Start with the next hour. Can you stay present? Can you resist the urge to open every app, respond to every ping, or check your phone every few minutes? One focused hour can change the trajectory of your day. One focused day can shift the direction of your week. And a few focused weeks, they can transform your life. So protect it, like your dream depends on it, like your peace depends on it. Because when you focus, truly focus, everything else begins to fall into place. Not every battle is yours to fight. Say no more often. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. We grow up thinking that saying yes makes us kind, helpful, valuable, and sometimes it does. But when you say yes to everything, you end up saying no to yourself without even realizing it. Every time you jump into someone else's crisis, Every time you volunteer your time for something you're not passionate about, every time you agree just to avoid conflict, you are picking up battles that were never yours to begin with. There's a reason your soul feels tired. It is not just the work. It is the weight of all the unnecessary yes you have been dragging with you. You are not meant to carry everything. You are meant to carry what is yours. But the world will not respect that boundary unless you do. People will keep piling things on you, their plans, their expectations, their drama, unless you learn the quiet strength of saying, I am not available for this. Saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you responsible. Responsible for your energy, your time, your peace. We often forget that peace is not something that appears by accident. It is created. It is protected. And one of the strongest ways to protect it is by learning to walk away from what drains it. Some battles look important from a distance, but when you get close you realize they are distractions dressed up in urgency. A friend pulling you into their never-ending drama. A coworker constantly asking you to fix what is not your job. A stranger online trying to bait you into an argument. Not your battles. Not your responsibility. You do not have to fix everyone. You do not have to prove anything to anyone. You do not owe your energy to every cause that calls your name. There is a power in knowing what deserves your involvement and what does not. There is clarity in knowing when to step back, when to stay silent, and when to preserve your inner space. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you start caring with intention. You start asking, does this align with my values? Is this worth my time? Is this helping me grow? Or is it pulling me away from what matters? Those questions are not signs of coldness. They are signs of maturity. And yes, people might not understand. Some may call you distant, different, even selfish. Let them. Let them misunderstand you. Let them question your choices. Your job is not to make everyone else comfortable. Your job is to stay true to what keeps you balanced, focused, and alive. You only get a limited amount of energy every day. It is like currency. You can spend it wisely or waste it on things that do not pay you back in joy, growth, or peace. The choice is always yours. And when you begin to choose wisely, when you start saying no firmly but kindly, something shifts. You stop scattering your strength across meaningless arguments and empty commitments. You begin to channel that energy into what truly deserves it. Sometimes the most loving thing you can say is no, because that no is saying yes to your own path, your own healing, your own dreams. It is choosing not to bleed for things that never bled for you. It is standing in the quiet power of knowing you do not have to attend every fight you are invited to. Boundaries are not rude. They are responsible. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that saying no is impolite, that creating space for yourself is selfish, that setting limits makes you cold or uncaring. But that is a lie. People tell you when they are used to crossing lines. Boundaries are not walls to keep others out. They are doors that help you decide what energy to let in. They are not about distance, they are about direction. They are how you teach others how to treat you, and how you protect your peace from being slowly eroded by what does not belong. There is nothing graceful about always being available. There is nothing noble about letting everyone walk in and out of your emotional space as they please. You cannot keep giving when your own well is dry. You cannot heal others while bleeding internally. You must first learn to hold space for yourself. That is what boundaries allow. They let you rest without guilt. They let you focus without interruption. They let you say, I matter too. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always call you difficult when you set them. That is not your problem. Your responsibility is not to keep everyone happy. It is to stay rooted in your own values. To know what is okay with you, and what is not. To understand that protecting your time, energy, and mental space is not optional, it is essential. Sometimes boundaries are soft and gentle. I need a moment, I'll call you later. Other times they are sharp and clear. This behavior is not acceptable, and I will not engage with it anymore. The way you express them can be kind, but the message must be firm. If you keep bending your boundaries to avoid discomfort, you will wake up one day surrounded by people who only know how to take from you. You are not obligated to attend every argument you are invited to. You are not required to fix every problem someone hands you. You are not responsible for how someone reacts to your limits. Your only job is to be honest, to be consistent, and to be kind to yourself in the process. Because when you fail to set boundaries, you are not being more loving. You are just allowing resentment to grow in the shadows. Boundaries teach you how to honor your own rhythm. Maybe you are someone who needs quiet mornings, or solo walks, or uninterrupted work time. You do not have to apologize for that. You do not have to justify your needs. The more you explain, the more you give people the idea that your boundaries are negotiable. They are not. They are yours. And they are valid even if no one else understands them. There will always be people who want more from you than you can give. There will always be moments when your heart says yes, but your soul says no. Listen to the no. Not because you do not care, but because you care deeply, and you know that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You know that to show up fully for others, you must first show up fully for yourself. A boundary is a promise to your inner peace. It is a quiet act of self-respect. It says, I am not angry. I am aware. I am not rejecting you. I am protecting me. And if that makes someone walk away, let them go. Anyone who truly values you will respect the space you need to breathe. Anyone who truly loves you will not ask you to burn yourself out to keep them warm. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about creating the conditions in which real, healthy connection can grow. They are not rude. They are responsible. Distractions are not always loud. Sometimes they wear a friendly face. We are often warned about the big distractions, the obvious ones, the loud parties, the flashy trends, the overuse of social media. But the ones that truly steal your focus, your energy, your clarity, they are usually quiet. They often come wrapped in love, comfort, and familiarity. A friend who always needs you but never hears you. A routine that keeps you busy but never helps you grow. A habit that feels harmless but eats away your time. These are the distractions that sneak into your life without knocking, and before you know it, you are drifting far from the place you were meant to be. Some distractions look like opportunities. They come dressed as exciting offers, new connections, sudden plans, and they may even bring temporary joy. But the real question is, do they pull you toward your purpose or away from it? Not everything good is meant for you. Not everything fun is worth your peace. You have to look deeper. Because the cost of distraction is not always immediate. It is slow. It is subtle. You only see it when your goals begin to blur and your fire starts to dim. It is easy to blame the world, to say there is too much going on, too many things pulling you in different directions. But sometimes it is not the world. It is the people closest to you. The ones who say they support you, but always need you the most when you are trying to focus. The ones who invite you to relax, just for a while, but that while keeps stretching into hours, days, weeks. The ones who cheer for you but only when it is convenient for them. These faces can be gentle, even kind, but they can also be distracting, even if they never mean to be. You have to become your own protector, your own gatekeeper, not with anger or walls, but with awareness. Start asking yourself, who do I become around this person? What energy do I carry after spending time with them? Does this moment feed me or drain me? These are not selfish questions. These are survival questions, because your dreams will not chase themselves, and your focus is the fuel that gets you there. Distractions do not always announce themselves. They do not knock on your door and say, "I am here to waste your time." They blend in. They feel normal. That is why they are dangerous. You have to be brave enough to pause, to reflect, to notice what is quietly stealing your attention. You may find that the thing you thought was helping you cope is actually keeping you stuck. You may realize that some relationships are more comfortable than they are healthy. When you stop and look clearly, you will notice a pattern. Every time you commit to something meaningful, something small shows up to interrupt you. A call, a message, a new worry, an old distraction. And in that moment you have a choice: to react or to remain, to chase the noise or to protect the stillness. Sometimes you have to disappoint people to remain aligned with your purpose. Sometimes you have to miss out on things to stay locked into what matters. That is not failure. That is discipline. The world will keep spinning. The noise will keep rising. But if you can stand still in the center of it all, with your heart anchored and your mind clear, then you have mastered something powerful. Because the real battle was never outside. It was always within. And the quietest distractions were the ones you never saw coming. Energy flows where focus goes. Be intentional. Your life is a reflection of where your attention lives. Whatever you choose to look at, listen to, feed into, that is what starts growing. Focus is not just about concentration, it is about direction. It is about asking yourself, where am I sending my energy today? Because energy is not unlimited. And if you do not decide where it should go, the world will decide for you. There is something sacred about a person who is fully present, someone who is not scrolling while you are talking, someone who is not thinking about 10 things while pretending to listen. That kind of presence is rare now because we are pulled in so many directions. Multitasking has become a badge of honor, but multitasking does not mean you are productive. It often just means you are distracted in more than one place. You have goals, but do your daily actions reflect them? You have dreams, but are your habits feeding them or starving them? Being intentional means closing the gap between what you say you want and how you actually live. You cannot say you want peace, but keep spending time in chaos. You cannot say you want growth, but never give your best energy to the things that help you grow. Wanting something is not enough. Intention means showing up for it, again and again. Even when it is hard, even when no one claps. Your focus is like a flashlight in a dark room. Wherever you point it, that is what you see clearly. Everything else fades. So if you are constantly focusing on what is wrong, what is missing, what is unfair, guess what your world begins to look like? But if you begin to focus on what you can change, what you can build, what you are grateful for, suddenly, that is what you start noticing more of. Being intentional is not always dramatic. It is the small, quiet choices you make when no one is watching. It is choosing to start your morning with purpose, instead of picking up your phone. It is choosing to spend your evening on what feeds your soul, not what just fills your time. It is saying, today I will give my best energy to what matters most, not what screams the loudest. Not everything that grabs your attention deserves it. The loudest thing is not always the most important thing. Sometimes the most meaningful work happens in silence. Sometimes the biggest shifts in your life begin when you decide to focus fully on one small thing and do it with all your heart. A single task done with presence can hold more power than 10 done in a rush. Intentional focus is not just about doing more. It is about doing less, but with more depth, more heart, more commitment. You stop spreading yourself thin, and you start pouring yourself fully into your art, into your work, into your healing, into your relationships. That is where the magic begins. when you stop dabbling and start devoting. No one becomes great by accident. No one builds something lasting by jumping from one thing to another. They choose. They focus. They honor the process. And that is what intentionality really is. It is not perfection. It is not control. It is simply choosing to live your day, your hour, your moment on purpose. With clarity, with courage, with direction. Because when your focus becomes clear, your energy follows. And when your energy is aligned, you become unstoppable. Protecting your focus is an act of self-respect. It is not about being obsessed with productivity or chasing success without rest. It is about recognizing that your time, your energy, and your attention are limited, and they deserve to be spent on things that truly matter. Every day you make silent choices about what you allow into your world. You choose what to look at, what to listen to, what to worry about, and what to ignore. Those choices build your reality. Those choices define your direction. And if you do not protect your focus, you are giving away the steering wheel of your life. Focus is not about intensity all the time. It is about intention. It is the discipline of deciding what gets your energy and what does not. When you protect your focus, you are telling the world, I respect myself too much to be pulled into things that do not grow me. You are refusing to let your life be a reaction to noise. You are refusing to be a puppet for distractions. You are saying, I choose to live on purpose. It is easy to be busy. It is hard to be focused. Busyness is applauded, admired, even rewarded. But being busy is not the same as being intentional. You can spend a whole day chasing tasks, checking boxes, running from one thing to another, and still feel like nothing real was accomplished. Focus means narrowing your attention to the few things that make the biggest difference. It means being okay with not doing everything. It means honoring your limits so you can give your best where it counts most. When you respect yourself, you start to notice what disrupts your mental space. You notice the patterns that drain you, the habits that slow you down, the conversations that leave you uneasy, the environments that pull you into chaos. And instead of ignoring those signs, you begin to respond. You begin to say no, not out of anger, but out of clarity. You begin to change your routine, not to impress others, but to align with your values. You begin to guard your focus, because you know what is at stake if you do not. You cannot create anything meaningful in a scattered state. Creativity, clarity, confidence, they all need space. They need stillness. They need you to turn inward and listen to what your own heart is trying to say, instead of drowning in what the world keeps shouting. When your mind is always reacting, always plugged in, always being pulled, you lose touch with your own voice. You forget what you were building. You forget why you started. Protecting your focus is an act of love. It is a way of saying to yourself, you matter, your goals matter. Your peace matters. It is not selfish. It is necessary. Because if you do not protect your focus, no one else will. The world will take everything you offer and then ask for more. It will celebrate your burnout and call it dedication. It will praise your availability and ignore your exhaustion. That is why you must step in and draw the line. That is why you must pause and reset. You do not have to earn your right to focus. You do not need permission to protect your mind. You do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing stillness over noise. Your focus is your power. It is your compass. It is your fuel. Every moment you protect it, you are honoring your future self. Every distraction you let go of is a message to the universe that you are ready to grow. Focus is not just about doing more. It is about becoming more present, more whole, more you. When you protect your focus, you are not just managing your time. You are shaping your destiny. Social media is a tool, not a trap. Use it. Do not let it use you. We live in a world where scrolling has become a reflex. Wake up, check your phone. Bored, pick up your phone. Sad, escape into the screen. We reach for it like it is medicine, like it holds the answers we are too afraid to find within ourselves. But the truth is, it does not. What it holds is noise, endless, addictive noise. It can build you, or it can bury you. The difference lies in whether you are in control of it, or if it is in control of you. Social media is not evil. It connects us. It inspires. It gives a voice to the quiet and a platform to the dreamers. But when used without awareness, it becomes a thief. It steals your time, your presence, your confidence. You open your phone for 5 minutes, and suddenly an hour has vanished. You were not lazy, you were lost, and the scariest part is you did not even notice. Comparison lives and breathes on social media. It shows you highlights and filters, not real life. You begin to question your own path, not because something is wrong with it, but because someone else's path looks shinier through a screen. You start to feel like you are behind, like your pace is too slow, your life too ordinary. But you are not behind. You are just distracted by someone else's race. Focus on your own road. When you use social media without intention, you invite everyone's energy into your space. Every opinion, every outrage, every trend, every performance. And slowly, your mind becomes crowded. You are thinking about things that do not matter. You are feeling emotions that were never yours to carry. That is how it starts to use you. Not with force, but with frequency. Not with control, but with habit. Until your screen time becomes higher than your real time. You must become conscious again. You must decide, why am I opening this app? What am I looking for? Is this adding value to my life? Or is it numbing something I should face? You do not have to delete everything. You just have to reclaim your power. Make it a choice, not a compulsion. Set boundaries. Follow people who uplift, not those who drain. Create more than you consume. Speak your truth, not just repeat what is trending. Start noticing how you feel after you close the app. Lighter or heavier. Inspired or anxious. Motivated or empty. That feeling is your compass. That feeling tells you whether you are using the tool, or the tool is using you. Pay attention to it. Trust it. You do not owe the internet every piece of you. You do not have to document every meal, every thought, every moment of joy. Some things are more beautiful when they are just yours. Sacred, unshared, untouched by likes or comments. Your life is not a performance. It is not a feed. It is a real breathing journey that deserves your full attention. Being offline is not missing out. Sometimes it is catching up with yourself, with your breath, with your purpose. It is remembering who you are when the notifications stop. It is hearing your own voice again, not the echo of 1,000 others. Social media is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it only works when you are the one holding it. With purpose, with discipline, with clarity. When it becomes a servant to your growth, not a master of your mind. Your peace is sacred. Avoid people and places that steal it. This is not just about comfort. It is about survival. Your peace is not some luxury to enjoy only when everything is perfect. It is the very ground you stand on. It is what keeps you sane when the world gets loud, what keeps you strong when life gets heavy. And yet we often trade it so casually, for approval, for temporary company, for the illusion of belonging. There are people who speak softly, but leave storms in your mind. There are places that look calm but stir up chaos in your heart. You need to recognize both. Just because someone smiles does not mean their presence is harmless. Just because a place is familiar does not mean it is good for your soul. Peace is not found in pretty things. It is found in the energy that surrounds you, in how you feel after the conversation, not during it. Pay attention to that. There is a reason you feel drained around certain people. There is a reason your chest gets tight before you walk into certain rooms. That is your body trying to warn you. Something here is not right. Something here does not serve your peace. But we have been trained to ignore those signals, to be polite, to stay quiet, to push through. And in doing so, we end up tolerating environments that slowly eat away at our joy. You do not need a dramatic reason to walk away. If something disturbs your peace, that is reason enough. If someone constantly makes you doubt your worth, question your value, second-guess your truth, that is reason enough. You were not put on this earth to shrink around people who cannot handle your light. You were not created to explain your boundaries over and over again to people who have no intention of respecting them. Protecting your peace means learning the art of emotional housekeeping. Clean up the mental mess. Remove the noise. Distance yourself from those who feed on chaos. That does not mean you hate them. It means you love yourself enough to choose differently.
Sotto la luna cammino piano, con le scarpe vecchie di papà, strada parra, lo cori canta, e ti penso mentre va. Sotto la luna cammino piano, con le scarpe vecchie di papà, strada parra, lo cori canta, e ti penso mentre va. A nonna spanna i panni fuori, culo soli che struscia l'aria, o pane caldo sopra la pietra e l'odore di casa mia. Vento di casa, portami a tia, tra le mura du paese mia. Se tu mi chiami, torno con tutto, chianta un limone, ti dugno lo frutto. Una fontana cantante chiazza i picciri di corrono fuori, e una canzone antica ballamo con l'organetto che suona ancora. Una fontana cantante chiazza i picciri di corrono fuori, e una canzone antica ballamo con l'organetto che suona ancora. E se lontano vai non scordare, che ogni pezza cagati si può ricostruire. Lo cuore mio sempre ti sapi, torna a casa che lo cielo t'abbraccia.